Welcome back to Echo Ridge, where I'm hoping this is going to be the last episode of this Germany series. I've taken some off-camera time and have moved the majority of our fleet up next to Utrecht. Remember, we're going to try to take this city first and then Amsterdam with the hopes that we're not going to have the loyalty issues considering we do have a presence over here. If we can make that happen and hold them, we will then try to peace out with the Dutch Empire and then turn our sights over to Nubia, where I'm thinking the capital is right around here. In order to do that, I need to start building tanks. We also have a small problem here in Brisbane. Even though we now have no loyalty pressures in Canberra or Sydney, we're still suffering here. In fact, it's going to rebel in 3 turns. You'll notice it's really close. We're only losing a little over 2 loyalty per turn. Unfortunately, it didn't always start that way. But if we look down at this menu, we can see that there may be other ways just to boost our loyalty pressure another 2.5 points, thereby giving us positive loyalty and not having to worry about it. The primary factor is that happiness level. So I'm doing everything we can to improve the happiness of all of our cities, which takes amenities. Unfortunately, no one wants to deal with us. Well, it looks like Australia will give us 1 ivory for only 14 plus 1 gold for 30 turns. I'll take that. But it doesn't exactly help us too much because we need to improve the amenity situation in this city, which means nearby arenas, water parks, and things like that. You can see that we have an arena being completed here in 3 turns. This may help. Also, we have more population coming up in Canberra in 3 turns. That will also help. So we may end up losing this city once, but I think with some of the impending changes, we're not going to have too much of a problem here. I've also left a little bit of a fleet here to include our newest nuclear submarine. Isn't it fancy? I want to keep improving some of our other U-boats into nuclear submarines, but they do take 765 gold unless we put in the upgrade card. But we have a lot of things we want to spend our money on, so we'll see. I'm also keeping an eye on the Grey People. Because we're sitting at over 8,000 faith, we can quick buy any great person we want. But I don't want to spend all that faith all willy-nilly when there could be something that helps us out a lot more. For instance, this great engineer, John Roebling, gives +1 amenity and +2 housing for the city that it activates in. And it gets 2 charges. We might be able to pop him off in Brisbane, which would help quite a bit, so I think we are going to pull that trigger. +3 era score. I'm also going to have this newly promoted nuclear submarine keep an eye on this side of the coast, and that way when we do declare war, if there's any ships or anything coming out, we should be able to make quick work of them, because the Dutch's navy is nothing to speak about. We can also do a bunch of coastal raids on some of these districts, and I don't think they'll be able to see us. I think this might be the turn that we do declare war. Our spy just finished a listening post in Amsterdam, which gives us a lot of visibility here. If we were smart, we would have done the same thing in Utrecht, because then we wouldn't need any vision in order to bombard it. It's not going to be a problem. That city's going to fall fairly quickly. We're also going to move that great engineer, and I don't want to move him to Brisbane. On the off chance that this city does flip, it should only take 1 turn, so maybe... No, I think I'm going to play it safe. I'll move them into Canberra. It takes all their movement, but they're instantly there. We also just completed a helicopter army, and we're going to start staging that right here on this coast as well. That's definitely going to help in the upcoming war with Nubia, because Nubia is decently strong only because of their tech. It's time to figure out what kind of war we're going to have with the Dutch. Remember that we had a golden age, so it gives us access to the golden age war, which gives us a 75% reduction in grievances. Not that it's going to help a lot, because everybody in the world hates us anyways, but either way, let's get this party started. First thing we'll do is move in with our Great Admiral, so everybody sitting around the Great Admiral gets the bonuses to their combat. We're going to need to move somebody closer to get some vision. I'd rather it be a stronger unit. This destroyer armada is probably going to be it. And there's the vision we need. So now we can sit back here with our bombers and start the air attacks. And I misclicked, so we attack the district instead. Oops, that's much better. And now the battleships can start. Ooh, there's a trade route we can plunder. Yes, please. They also have some troops in the water up here. We're not going to be able to get them this turn, but we will be able to get them next turn. They'll probably move them back on land. There's also a trader sitting here that will pillage just like that. Both of our bombers did their strike, although one was a little off course. All of our battleships have made their attack, and Utrecht will be dead next turn. This would go even quicker if we had this aircraft carrier in the fleet that we are sailing across the ocean unprotected. It's not too big of a deal. We have naval forces all over, so if we need to reinforce, but it's still going to take quite a long time. You can see here it's 10 turns just to reach outside of Amsterdam. I have the option now to plunder this trade route or go coastal raid this campus. I'm going to get the trade route first because the Dutch Empire, aka the Netherlands, are heavily dependent on their gold income. That's another 330 beautiful gold. And now we have our spy, because of our listening posts and their rank, has some decent chances. What I think we're going to do is reduce enemy loyalty by 25. I don't think it's going to take us 8 turns to be able to take Amsterdam, but maybe it'll help in the future. Our fleet down here has some nice targets of opportunity that we will take advantage of. There's another trade route. We've managed to get up to 1900 gold this turn. So what I'm thinking about doing is purchasing in Sydney the zoo just as soon as the arena is finished. That might help with some happiness over in Brisbane. Here's the rebellion in 1 turn. So we're going to scoot over and try to pop this. +1 amenity and +2 housing for this city. And loyalty is now going up at 0.8 per turn. It's not going to be enough. I wonder if I can pop it twice in the same city. That might be helpful. And the next round of air assaults, hopefully we target the city this time nicely. Look at that one bomber. Just took off half of the city's defenses. And the next one will do the same. Oh, that doesn't look great. Well, at least for them. And there's our first city. Unfortunately, it has rebellion in 5 turns. That's a little bit stiffer than I was expecting. It's losing 11.2 per turn. A lot of it because of the pressure of nearby citizens from the Netherlands. But if we can take Amsterdam in those 5 turns, we might be able to hold both. That's a long shot, but we're going to give it the good old college try. We're also going to move Magnus. He's one of our few remaining governors that are sitting on our home continent. And by moving Magnus, we're now gaining loyalty. Look at that. And now we can start taking shots at Amsterdam, which is another coastal city. The bombers will be very helpful in this situation because Amsterdam has a very high defense at 104. First of all, it would help if I bring the Great Admiral over. But in Civ, the strengths do not scale 1-to-1. In other words, a range strength of 170 is not twice as strong as this unit. In fact, a range strength of like 100 is nearly twice as strong as this unit. John Archer's battleship has a promotion. Not that we need much. We already have the +1 in range, so I guess we'll heal outside of friendly territory. We're also going to move some of the fleet that was defending down here in Australia up to try to do as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible to Amsterdam. 193 science and 50 gold for this first raid. We were going to keep raiding, even though hitting Amsterdam with a range strike would also be nice. With our extra gold, I've upgraded both of these armadas to nuclear submarines. So when the time comes, we're going to be able to coastal raid all of Nubia's coast. That's going to be nice. Notice the first hit from Amsterdam onto this battleship took a lot of its health. In fact, it took 50. So we're going to move this guy back out. Actually, we don't need to because they have a promotion. So we're going to go to rolling barrage. That heals them back up. And now let's soften the target with some of our bombers. This bomber has a promotion and we're going to take it. This one is ready to fight though. So right into Amsterdam. Much better. Somehow Brisbane flipped, which I'm a little confused about. My guess is one of these cities grew or their loyalty pressure increased. Now we got to take it back again, which is not going to be too big of a deal because it doesn't even have any walls. We also have the ability to upgrade these bombers into jet bombers. It's going to take us a turn, but I think it's going to be well worth it. I keep saying this, but everything is taking us a turn here, a turn there. Meanwhile, Amsterdam is getting a little bit more softened up. Shouldn't be too much longer. Oh, look, there's a trade route we can pillage. They do also have access to fighters now, which will end up hurting our bombers. We're going to have to be a little careful, but now that we have jet bombers, we should be decently okay. We had another success with our spy who stole 1,704 gold from Abu Simbel. If you're new to Civ 6, do not pass up on spy usage. They can be very, very valuable. We now have jet bombers about to take down Amsterdam. The fighter is there, so we're going to see how this goes. Apparently they don't have them in patrol mode. That's their mistake. We are going to take the promotion on box formation to defend better against the fighter class units if they ever decide to put it in air patrol mode. And I have a whole lot of units sitting around here. I've managed to build up 2 nuclear submarines. We got jet bombers arriving in mains, plus a helicopter army. So I'm thinking we should also declare war on Nubia. This might be a mistake, but you know, we're going to see. We're going to use the other Golden Age war. Absolutely. Nubia's gonna be mad at us for a little while, it's okay. But now let's go see what we can find. Lots of mountains, that's gonna make it a little bit difficult for our armies to pass. But already from mains, our jet bomber can start weighing Lace to Napata. Maybe we should have started with Kerma, but it's not a big deal either way. I do need to make sure that they're not gonna start moving against us, because they have a wide territory, so there's no telling what sort of units they have hiding out. And it looks like Amsterdam will fall this turn. The big question is going to be whether or not we can hold it based on loyalty. Now, they do have a population of 19 in there, so we're about to find out. Rebellion in 24 turns, we're only losing 2 per turn, so as soon as we get a governor in here, we should be okay. The question is, where can we move the governor from? I'm thinking out of Ballarat, because our governor is providing a +8, but we have a total loyalty of 10.5 coming out of that city. And there it is. Amsterdam's going to be fully loyal in 5 turns. Now, we don't even need to care about these folks here. We can't declare peace yet, because we've only been at war for 4 turns. But we'll fend off everybody else. It's not going to be too big of a deal, considering they're still on line infantry. I mean, we might as well take the opportunity to do some more raiding. Here's another coastal raid, 50 gold, 198 science. And the spy that just finished taking all their money, we could do it again and take another 1,100 gold. It would take 8 turns, but I think we're going to try to gain visibility here in Kawa. Or maybe it'd be better to be in Sedanga. And we're going to use their promotion of disguise to take no time to establish presence in the enemy city. That's wonderful. So then next turn, we should be able to transfer them over there. We're going to leave this armada here to heal up, but we're going to take our Great Admiral and attach it to a new unit right over here, create the escort formation. Now we'll put them to sleep, so whenever this battleship moves, the Great Admiral moves with it. I'm going to take the entire Navy and encircle that location. I'm not 100% sure where we want to start our assault. It might be smart to do Ferras, because we already have some loyalty being pushed by Brisbane, although right now we're losing loyalty again. Something changed over here and I'm not quite sure what it is. So it might be better just to take Napata, maybe even Kerma. Oh, they have a nuclear submarine there and a battleship. Let's take care of that business right now. We're going to move off the coast a little bit so the city can't see us. And that battleship sank instantly. Oh, it's so glorious. I do need to come down here and take care of business with this nuclear submarine armada, because it's not going to play around. As you can see, it didn't take much damage at all. Did you know you can jet bomb a nuclear submarine? Learning new things every single day. And already our bombers are in range of Napata, which I'm sure I'm mispronouncing. And our other aircraft carriers finally made it up here, although they missed the war with Netherlands. I don't want to move them within range of Fez because that would hurt. And I'm not too worried about whatever the Dutch can throw at our walls here, so we're going to move the entirety of the Navy down here. Now, we're not going to be able to win this war using just our Navy, but we are going to be able to soften everything up. We did lose a battleship this turn. It was the one, I believe, that was in range of Napata. It must have taken a strike from the submarine. Not too big of a deal. We're gonna sink it. This armada is gonna get a promotion. We'll probably swoop in and steal their admiral next turn, but we have some jet bombers ready to take in a strike. I need a destroyer, though, to be able to get into that city, and I don't see one. Where are my destroyers? Oh, it's way up here. That's gonna have to be next turn. Over here, we have a cuirassier, and now we don't have a cuirassier. There's a battleship about to be sunk. All right, Napata is dead. but I don't have a unit I can go in there and steal it with. I suppose I can move this Nahang into the water, but next turn it's not going to be a big deal anyways. Next up, maybe we take Kerma. We now have 2 aircraft carriers on site, which makes a little bit of quicker work on this. Although these bombers are ready for their upgrade. I may move them next to mains to upgrade them next turn, no big deal. And it looks like Kerma is going to go down this turn because, well, we have more in range. Oh, it looks like we can take Napata because the Nihang is in range. We'll take the promotion from them. Plus 50 gold on coastal raids. Easy day. And the Han goes into Napata. And more loyalty issues, of course. But hopefully, once we get done taking Kerma, that will go away as well. Couple of jet bomber shots. And then the tank moves in. And now we have Kerma. Alright, Kerma, no problem. It's going to be loyal. Hopefully, it did slow down the flipping of Napata. I don't have any other governors that I can really move. Oh, wait, this one's 32 loyalty per turn, so we can move Magnus. And now Napata is going to be fully loyal in 5 turns. That capital must be in here somewhere. I'll find you! We're going to take this turn to move the aircraft carrier into our territory. We're sitting at 1,400 gold. No problem to upgrade these bombers. Only takes 290. And now we just need to go find some visibility. I do have a drone over here. We will end up moving the drone as soon as I can click on it. We can also rebase all the bombers inside Napata. That will help. And I'm going to use this nuclear submarine because unless they have another submarine or a Navy unit beside us, they shouldn't be able to target it, which will give us a little bit more visibility. Here's our drone. We're going to move it in. It gives us a lot more visibility. You gotta love drones. Be a little bit better if they could actually move on the mountaintops, though. And there is Moreau. Makes me wonder if there's a way to get to their capital up through this strait here. Of course, all we really have to do is bomb it now that we have visibility because from our drone, and then move a tank in. So I think that's what we'll do. And we've taken our first strike. This bomber from way over in Mainz has the range to be able to hit Moreau. Absolutely wonderful, which means these guys should too. And since they don't have any air defenses, it shouldn't take very long. And then each turn we just take our drone and move it right back into Napata. Yeah, we lose visibility for the turn, but there's no chance someone is going to come and take it. I almost get bummed out when these jet bombers get a promotion. So it's another turn that we don't have access to their huge destructive capabilities. We've also been creating jet bombers on our main continent. Oh, wait, I gotta move the drone in front. So we now have like 7 bomber strikes on their capital city every single turn. And because they're jet bombers, they have a huge range. Now the big question is, am I gonna be able to get to Moreau to be able to take it through melee means? Because I believe Moreau is gonna go down this turn. Let's move the drone up and start shelling the capital again. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. So already the capital has nothing. So as soon as we take that city, we sort of win the game. The problem is getting there. I think this will allow us to get there, but we'll still be able to be hit. So let's try moving in one at a time, see what's up, because they can't hit us in front of Moreau. Oh, wait, can we take it this turn? Did we just win the game?
Though its face may change throughout the ages, history is written from the hand of the victor. By your actions this day, you ensure our people a glorious tomorrow.
Let's check our ranking. It's probably not going to be too good. A Winston Churchill ranking, not very bad, but wasn't the best we could do. We lost a lot of points because of how long it took us. And now some of you may enjoy the graph scene. Some of these are going to look pretty scary. For instance, cities founded. Now the only way I can really see these is by unchecking them and checking them. It also helps you, the viewer, be able to see it. You can see at the beginning, we were really lagging behind the AI for the first, I don't know, 150 turns? What's another good one? Units killed. Oh, wow, look at this. We're going down in the history books, all right, but it's only because our civilization is the one that wrote them. And what's even funnier, look at the units lost tab. we lost the fewest units in the entire world by a pretty good margin. Here's the number of combats graph. That one doesn't really strike me as odd, other than the fact that we, of course, had the most. I can't believe that tank was able to reach that city in one turn. You also notice we were lagging behind on great people earned, but started catching up towards the end. This is what happens in a domination victory, because you start taking so many different cities that are already built up, you start earning a lot more great people points. Well, as the standard, we'll click just one more turn, because after all, it is Civ. And here is our wonderful new civilization. We'll keep the city, and we'd be able to hold it for 8 turns. Actually, we'd be able to hold it for even longer just by putting a governor in there, because you can see we're only losing 6.8 loyalty per turn. What's more impressive about this game is where we started in Junkville, all the way down here next to the tundra. We built a war machine that could not have been trifled with. I hope you enjoyed this series. Let me know what else you'd like to see out of Civ 6. I wanted to test the channel a little bit because I do plan on playing a heavy amount of Civ 7 when and if it is ever released, so at the minimum you will eventually see more Civ content. So until next time, much love, happy gaming, and I'll talk to you soon.